Today is a very exciting day because I am traveling to Montenegro! This is a very unexpected destination, I know. I had an Instagram guessing game actually, and a lot of people guessed like Italy, Switzerland, England. I had Greece, Turkey, everything except for Montenegro, who somebody guessed at the very end. This decision was made because my mother came here about 2 years ago and loved it so much, and after doing a bit of research I decided that I would like it too. So the first day in Montenegro for me is a boat tour that I'm gonna share with you. I have been excited about this day for a while now. I have never been to Montenegro, it's my first time here, so let's do this. Today's gonna be a fun day. I've just stepped off the boat to pay a visit to Kotor. It is a famous little town here in Montenegro, and some parts of it date back to the Roman times. Like for example, the fortress up above it dates back to something like 4th century BC or something crazy like that. But there are some Venetian influences obviously, because Montenegro did fall under Venetian rule from the 15th to the 18th century, I believe. There are 3 main gates in Kotor that you can go through to enter. I am currently going to enter through this one, but they all date back to roughly the 16th, 17th centuries, and on the inside it is a much bigger town than somewhere like Perast, where you can find mostly just churches and hotels. Here it's a lot more variety, I would say, so I'm gonna explore some of that now, and yeah, I think I'll really enjoy this. So as soon as you walk in from this gate, you are greeted with the Statue of Shame, which is where people who would do something wrong, who would commit a crime, would get tied up and then ridiculed by virtually anyone who would pass through the gate, and it would be the first thing they saw. Thankfully, that is still not an ongoing thing today, because I would probably get tied up for eating the world's supply of ice cream sooner or later. Yep. We are approaching the main cathedral now, which was built in 1166. And as soon as I saw it, I obviously got very excited, because that's my normal reaction with cathedrals. I just always want to go inside. A little different to what I expected. I expected something a bit more elaborate, I have to say. It was very minimal, so very different to, let's say, the cathedral that I saw in Como in Italy about a month ago. I'll link the video above now. What I find super interesting about this place is, obviously after the earthquakes, it is now a UNESCO World Heritage Site. There has been a lot of earthquakes in this area, the most recent one being only about 40 years ago. So all of these grand monuments that date back hundreds and hundreds of years ago, they've all been reconstructed little by little after each earthquake. And if you look closely, and if you preferably have a guide to point out little details, you will see exactly how different architectural influences come into play after each and every reconstruction. And if you guys are wondering what the weather is like now, or how hot it is, check out these cats. Kinda wish that were me right now. Nice little siesta in the shade. There's about 5 of them that I've spotted so far. The drunk cats of Kotor. About to go see Sveti Luke's church, which is one of the only churches in all of Kotor that never got destroyed by any of the earthquakes. So not only is that impressive, but the other thing that I found a little bit creepy, but also quite cool, is that under there they've got about 3,000 people buried. So it looks small and quaint, but underneath it's actually a bit of a catacomb. Really interesting. And then right opposite we've got Sveti Nikolai Church, which was a gift from the Russians. So this is a typical Orthodox church, and I'm gonna go inside there as well now. It's lunchtime and we picked this spot called Adriatica. So I actually spotted it from far away and I thought, oh, I wonder what that is. And then as we got closer, I realized that was our lunch spot. So that made me very happy, and apparently it's known for its fish dishes. So I'll definitely be trying some of that. Let's see how it goes. So full I can barely move, but that's not exactly a bad thing because I get to sit on a boat now as we head over to our next stop. What I'm going to see now is a church called Lady of Our Rocks, which is right in front of Perast. And this has a fascinating history actually, because legend says that it was built by two brothers in the 15th century when they came back from a battle at sea and one of them was badly injured. And on the way home they found an icon of the Virgin Mary on a rock, and they prayed to that icon that the Virgin Mary would heal their wounds. The next day they found out that their wounds had been completely healed, and so they vowed to build this church, which took them 32 years to build. But the way that they built it is they stacked up rocks and sunken ships from opponents back in the day when there used to be a lot of wars and battles going on here. So 32 years later, this was basically erected up from virtually nothing out at sea, and to this day remains a very popular and a very frequented tourist attraction in the area. The church also contains the world's biggest collection of silver icons, which all depict people who have prayed to the Virgin Mary to bring them back safely from battles out at sea, and that is exactly what happened. So they came here and they put these silver icons as a thank you to the Virgin Mary. And right next to Lady of Our Rocks, we have another little island, which is unfortunately not open to tourists visiting it, but it's called St. George's Island, and it's the Island of the Dead, where you have not only a monastery, but also a cemetery that has pretty much anyone of interest who died in Perast many years ago. It's time for a little Perast boat tour now. It is going to be very brief because it is a very small little town, so we'll literally just go around the bay and I'll film some of the main points of interest for you guys. I think it's very cute. I don't know if it's worth seeing on land, but from what I was told, the water is the best way. This right here is a submarine cave that was built during the Cold War, and it was made to mimic the natural shape of a cave. So we're about to go inside now, and I think it'll be quite cool. Never seen anything like it. Last stop for today is a beautiful restaurant called Stari Mlini, which translates to Old Mill. And I'm very excited about this. My mother recommended it to me, but then some locals have recommended it to me as well. They say that the setting, so like the nature around the restaurant, is gorgeous and the food is amazing too. How beautiful is this? Look up there. Look at the difference of environment between what you see over there and then what we've got down here. I think it's incredible. This water here is fresh water that comes from those mountains that you've just seen. And the mills that I've just shown you, those used to be used for wheat, so bread production. Pretty interesting. I had in mind that this would be quite small because I'm still rather full from lunch, but it is pretty ginormous. So I've asked the people at my table to help me. Will they help me? The answer is of course. Now let's see what happens. I will have a bet with you that no one's gonna help me, that I'll have to finish all of it by myself. better get started then. I stand very much corrected. I did not need any help whatsoever. It is about 3.5 minutes later after the previous video, and we are once again approaching Tivat, which is where we left from this morning. So on that note, I'm afraid it is time to end this vlog. Remember, this was just day 1 of me in Montenegro. There are 7 more days to go, so this was just a bit of a taster of what's to come. Today I felt that I got to explore the main things there are to see in my area, but what I've got planned is maybe even more exciting, and you'll get an insight on more of the history around here and more of the hidden gems, as well as a few other surprises. So stay tuned, and I'll see you next time. Just when I thought that Kotor was all about cats, I have come across something that has radically changed my mind. Oh my god. This puppy is for sale, and this puts me in a very difficult position because yes, I have Tyson and I don't live here, but also, oh my god. Whew. Remember to breathe, Kristina. Remember to breathe. This will be okay. You will be fine. Should I just get their address and then just come take him? Is that acceptable?